The future of wetsuits is here. Wetsuits that are literally grown out of the ground instead of made from fossil fuels. Hi, all of you awesome scuba divers out there. Welcome to the Scuba Diving Magazine channel, your favourite place for the latest scuba diving news and gear reviews. Most wetsuit neoprene was originally made using petroleum, and manufacturers have long looked for a more sustainable alternative, and that's where Yulex fills the gap in the market. The 5mm Everflex is Scubapro's flagship wetsuit. It's a solid all-rounder of a wetsuit thickness to cover the most common like water temperatures to keep you nice and warm, and the Everflex lives up to its name because it's very stretchy. What Scubapro calls a pure concept design, the Everflex has as little stitching as possible. So big open panels of neoprene, because the stitching is the part that doesn't flex very well. So you want these large open panels of stretchy neoprene to allow the suit to bend and flex. And whilst I call it a 5mm, it's better described as a 5/4mm, because key panels are made from ever so slightly thinner 4mm neoprene for easier movement. You still get the insulation, not quite as much as like the big chest panels and whatnot, but like under the arm and whatnot, it's just a little bit thinner. So it's thick and insulating where it needs to be, and slightly thinner around the joints and areas that may bunch up, just to make it a bit more streamlined. Talking of insulation, the internal lining in key areas is Scubapro's blue diamond span material, which is a great insulator and drains very quickly, so that your wetsuit is a bit more pleasant to put on for your second dive. So that material covers the chest, the back, and some of your upper thigh to keep your real core nice and warm, and the rest of the inside is more flexible lining, so all of your arms, most of your legs, and under, like, down your flanks, that's a more flexible lining, so you can bend and flex and reach and actually like reach for your valves. Internal cuff seals around your forearm about here, and the same around your calf, use smooth neoprene to create water dams that slow water ingress into the suit and then slow water movement once it's inside the suit. Whilst keeping you warm, they also allow for fuse cut edges around the wrists and down by your ankles, with better stretch thanks to no stitching around the edge. Again, stitching, it just makes it less flexible, so having this like fuse, like pinch cut, just makes it allows it to stretch. What stitching the Everflex does have is double blind stitch, so the thread never penetrates all the way through the neoprene to help prevent water from seeping through. It's effectively stitching from both sides, but neither one goes all the way through. So you've got this solid stitching all the way through, but no one single needle thread hole is going to go straight through the neoprene and allow water to seep through. The only other thing of note on the inside of the suit is a small key pocket. It's not waterproof by any means, so you can't put your fancy car key fob or anything in that, but if you need to bring a basic key down with you, then you can, and that's just like down your spine. On the outside of the suit, you have Scubapro's very classic smart black design, and styling up around the neck, you have a Velcro neck closure. It's that nicer, newer, less scratchy Velcro around this part here, and the Everflex has a very undervalued feature in the front of the neck, a zippered gusset. Underneath is a smooth, thin neoprene, but if you don't like anything too tight around your neck, then it allows you to loosen the suit just around the front of your neck, whilst it still seals to a certain extent. Over the shoulders, you see the first patches of reinforced outer lining with extra grey protection for a little extra grip for your BCD shoulder straps, but also to protect the suit from rubbing and getting damaged by your shoulder straps. Down the arms, you find a little rubber logo patch just on your upper arm, a large open panel of neoprene under the arm for flexibility so you can stretch and really reach those valves, and no seams under your armpit to rub. Down at the wrists, you have Scubapro's iSafe system, which is a small like rubber loop that you can thread your computer strap through to stop it from slipping off your wrist completely and losing your dive computer, but also to help stop your computer from like rolling around your wrist. If the wetsuit compresses, it just holds it a bit more in one position so it stays where you want it. The very edge of the cuff is that pinched and fused seal, so the whole thing stretches and you can just slide your hand straight through. Down to the waist of the wetsuit, you have a small loop and a clip for attaching a hood when you're not using it. A lot of modern hoods have a small like plastic D-ring just down at the bottom, so that when you take it off between dives, instead of having to hold it whilst you're doing whatever it is, you can clip it to your hip, and then you've got both hands to do whatever you need to do. More grey detailing on the knees to protect the knees from wear and tear, and the ankles have metal YKK zippers and the same fused edge cut as the wrist cuffs themselves. On the back of the suit, heavy duty metal YKK zipper with a long leash straight down your back. Underneath that, it has a flush guard with 2 strips of smooth neoprene that seal against one another to stop water from flushing through that zipper and getting straight to your back. And there's a little Velcro tab at the top of that zipper to hold the zipper mechanism in place so it doesn't undo during the dive. More of that reinforced lining over the seat, over your butt, just adds a little grip over your bum, but that's really more there to protect the suit from damage instead of adding extra grip. But yeah, it can be a high wear area if you're sitting down on like wooden benches and whatnot, so they just add a bit of extra protection. Scubapro has leaned heavily into making their Everflex as eco-friendly as possible. The neoprene itself is made from that Yulex that I was talking about. It's a plant-based alternative foam. It's an alternative to neoprene and is specifically formulated for scuba diving, not just like surface water sports. So this version, you'll see Yulex Dive on certain logos. So it's compression resistant, and as you can see, it's very stretchy as well. So if you react to more traditional neoprenes, or you want something that's much more eco-friendly, then it's a great choice. Scubapro have also used solvent-free glues as well, so if that sets you off, you don't have to worry about solvent glues in this suit, and you can see that solvent-free glue especially at any of the joins where the stitchings meet, just to help extra like protection to prevent it from fraying. The suit is even further eco-friendly in that the interior and exterior black polyester lining is made from recycled plastic bottles, so Scubapro have really gone head to toe with this suit to make it as eco-friendly as possible. But who's the Everflex 5mm for? Well, as I said at the start, 5mm, yeah, as like a diving wetsuit, is the real Goldilocks wetsuit thickness for scuba divers. This wetsuit, the Everflex 5.4, is a thermoclass B suit, which is perfectly fine for like a 5mm. In fact, it is pretty good for a 5mm, which it recommends for temperatures between 10 and 18 degrees Celsius. Warmth is obviously subjective, but it just kind of gives you an idea of that's where it's like recommended that you wear it. I was pleasantly surprised when I first put it on at just how stretchy it was. My very first experience with Yulex was I thought it was a little bit stiff, but it seems that, I mean, that was a few years ago now, they've clearly sort of upgraded and upped their game and made it a lot more flexible, and just how much you can move around whilst you're wearing it. It was very flexible, so it didn't restrict you in any way. Stretchy wetsuits, they are a double-edged sword though, especially when you're putting them on. It can be tricky to grab hold of the material to like pull it flat, and the first time that I tried it, you pull it up to the waist. I just put both hands down the sleeves and tried to put both hands in at the same time, leading to both hands kind of being stuck in the sleeves because you need the other one to actually pull it down. So only put one hand in at a time. I also personally struggled to get the zipper all the way up by myself. The zipper getting stuck on the flush guard. And I'd never managed to take it off where I didn't end up taking it inside out because the material is just so stretchy, which isn't the end of the world, having your suit inside out after a dive. I wanted to dry inside out, so you've just saved me a job there. But whilst it can be nice and forgiving to have a stretchy wetsuit, so if you don't fit the size chart absolutely perfectly, you've got a bit more stretch. It does make it a little bit harder to get into it because you can't rely on just like pushing your arm or leg through, because the sleeve is just going to stretch with it. You do need to like spend a bit of time to actually get the suit on. I would recommend having a buddy around to help you get in and out of it the first time that you try it, just because I tried quite a few times to kind of get that zipper in the right position and get it to go all the way up. It's just the usual thing. It just needs someone just to tuck that that section of flash guard out of the way, and then it'll go straight up. But hey, my arms don't bend that way. The leash tab as well that holds the leash up at the top is the standard like scratchy Velcro, which can be a little grabby at times to the lining of the suit. You don't want it to damage it, and there's I couldn't find any kind of way to like tuck it out of the way, so you do have to be careful of that. The suit has a recommended retail price of 470 British pounds or 586 American dollars, which is the right place for it. It's up there with the other premium 5mm wetsuits, and it does feel and act like a premium wetsuit, but it's not excessive for the suit that you're getting. It is a sensible price point. It really is a lovely wetsuit and should last for a fair amount of abuse, and it comes in tall and short sizes as well, which is a godsend for some divers who struggle to find a suit that fits them. For more information, head over to scuba.com. I'll pop links up here in the corner of the screen and down in the description below so that you can check it out on their website. Also, remember to check out our website and social media channels. We're tidying up our channels so they're a bit more streamlined. We have a few duplicates because we run a pair of websites, or at least we kind of used to. We're starting to streamline that a little bit more, so they might be changing. But anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that good social media stuff. Thank you for watching, everybody, and of course, safe diving.